And hello there, welcome back to Japan Game Junk, the podcast. And this one is yet another store in Akihabara, the mecca of gaming in the world. And this is one of the stores that I would put, it might be the top of the list for visiting for people who are coming to the area, maybe for the only time in their life, and that is the Beep store in Akihabara. Make sure you check your schedule because, it's closed off and on certain weekdays. But Beep is an old retro games / computers / arcade unit store. It's got a bit of everything. And it has such a great cultural vibe. It's just, it feels like you can feel the nerds of 40 years ago all the way through today, all visiting the store and it being a part of their lives. And I've loved visiting here. I've bought a lot of stuff there for my old computers and my old systems and stuff. It's really a very, very interesting place to go. And it really celebrates that culture. And there are a lot of things there you can't find elsewhere, with a lot of also DIY elements. So people understand it, the term of dojinshi, of like making things unofficially for your favorite series or products or whatever. Yeah, it's got lots of stuff like that. So I'll start off with one of those for what I could find on this day. This was visited on June 3rd of 2024. The first was a folder of papers, and on the front it says GM Holic 2, Game Music Holic 2. And for 550 yen, so 500 yen plus tax, it's basically sheet music of popular Famicom games. So, if you want to play Super Mario Brothers on the piano, then, well, here's your sheet music to do it. It's just fans put together the sheet music from their favorite series and sold these off. So this is GM Holic 2. Of course, there are many others, 1 through whatever, and there you go. And also kind of realized, the whole idea of alcoholic being the reason why people say shopaholic or whatever. Alcohol is the word. It's just ick you add to it to make it the disease. Or I don't believe that addiction is a disease, by the way. I believe that disease is caused by a virus or a bacteria or a prion or some such. Others might be a syndrome or a defect or something like that. I think that if you introduce an addiction to yourself, it is not a real disease. But anyway, the idea of adding ick to alcohol to make it your alcohol addiction, and then you have shopaholic. It should just be like shop-ick, right? You're adding ick to it. Alcohol ick. Shop-ick, not shopaholic. Not game music holic. It should be game music ick. Seems like that's the way to go. For 27,800 yen, there was the Quick Hunter, which was sold at the same time as the Famicom Disk System. This was a totally pirated product, where it claims that it's for you to make backups of your Famicom Disk System games. But really what this was is, it was just a big pack full of the blank Famicom Disk System discs, and the attachment for your computer. So you can make your pirate copies. Because Famicom Disk System discs, they were I'd say it's about 15% smaller than a standard floppy disk. So you wouldn't be able to actually plug that into your Famicom Disk System, into your Famicom. But if you can make your own pirate discs, well, they play just like the real thing, because the original Famicom Disk System were just blank discs that had the code copied onto them at the convenience store or whatever. So, yes, this Quick Hunter for 27,800 yen, and includes 74 blank discs, and it includes the manual, it says here. You could plug that into your really, really old computer, your Japanese old computer, and make your Famicom Disk System games. This would not be DOS or Windows. It would likely be like, PC 8000 or whatever from, was it Toshiba or something? Anyway. Also, next that I saw, just again, show the random things they have there. 1942, the old arcade shoot 'em up, the arcade cabinet. Great condition, cleaned, caps replaced. 39,800 yen for the board. Plug that into your machine. And mentioning the old computers, for 118,000 yen, a fully working used PC 8801 FH black model old hobby computer. Well, not hobby computer, this was like the actual personal computer someone might have at this era when the PC 8801 or PC 888, the PC 8800 series was competing with Windows computers and Mac and all that as a Japanese standard. As you know, of course, Japanese people preferred systems that would be native for Japanese language content, so that's why it got pretty successful before Windows and Mac became more Japanese friendly. Also very interesting was Aero Dancing 2001. This is the kind of the store sales demo disc that would be played in a kiosk. Not for sale. Usually this one's 7,500 yen. So for a kiosk disc, that's pretty interesting, I think. Also interesting, an Arkanoid controller meant for the MSX. It's like a paddle controller. You could play Arkanoid and Arkanoid 2 on your MSX or MSX2. And it's just something a hobbyist made. Circuit board with a little twiddle stick on there and the MSX 9-pin connector added to it. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. It's a fun hobby-made thing, but it's also 5,500 yen, including tax. So anyway, if you really want an Arkanoid controller, then there you go. Also, for 15,000 yen, an MSX simple 4-slot expander. So basically, you plug this into a one slot, and it makes it have 4 slots. This would be great because my MSX only has 1 slot for cartridges, when it should, most have at least 2. But yeah, this lets you be able to plug in a lot more things like memory modules. You can't plug in more than one game and have that mean anything, you just have to, like there are no games on 2 cartridges, but yeah, like memory expanders for RAM and then backups to save data and stuff. If you need one, they're made. 15,000 yen, new in a bag, made by a hobbyist. Then, for 60,000 yen, for the NES, Gemfire, 4 megabit cartridge, newest technology for better graphics and gameplay, 64K RAM with battery backup saver game. So it's a Nintendo game from Koei. The NES, the US version, and that's why it's so expensive. 60,000 yen in Japan. Wow. Maybe it was also originally expensive anyway. And here, something I never thought I'd see in Japan because I didn't know that this was sold here. A VIC-20 game, still in box. Draw Poker. A very simple gambling game, but only 3,000 yen for the game with a box and manual. So if you have a VIC-20 and you need a game, well, go to the Beep store in Akihabara. Then something that I wish I did have, untested, but the FM sound unit for the Mark III to give it the FM sound upgrade. Yes, I do want one, but I don't want to pay 9,800 yen for it, unfortunately. And there was a Windows beep in the background there to enjoy. Then, the worst game ever made, according to my YouTube channel, I believe it was video number 5 I made for the MSX, the Golf Simulation. It was such a chunky, unplayable piece of junk on the MSX. But here, the FM7 Fujitsu computer version in box. If you're looking for a game for your FM7 Fujitsu computer, it was being sold at the Beep for 2,000 yen for this terrible, terrible game. Interesting, though, Master System game from Tectoy, in Brazil. That's a fun thing to check. Geraldinho, it looks like it's a Brazilian comic character, with 256K this game. So, yeah, not exactly the biggest one, as many Master System games have 4 meg in size, whatever, but yeah, 12,000 yen for the complete in-box Brazilian Master System game of Geraldinho. And something that, of course, I wish I had, but would not pay this much, 128,000 yen for a Wonder Mega. The Genesis and Mega Drive Sega CD, Mega CD, all in one unit. That was produced, I believe, by JVC as the XI in the US, in North America. Wonder Mega in Japan. Very difficult to find these very cheaply, and I've never seen one for under 100,000 yen, if I recall. This one, 128, just for the unit, nothing in box. Also, to note about Beep, lots and lots of adult stuff. Lots of comics and doujinshi, with lots of naked ladies in there, lots of adult software. There's an adult section. If you like to have computer-based or animation-based or comic-based, ladies to look at to feel pleasure, well, there's plenty of that there too. And I will admit that at one point they had, what was it? Old doujinshi, with fan-made comics of their favorite characters having sex or whatever. And I got 5 of them for 200 yen. That was the sale. You could pick them out. And I didn't look in them because I felt dirty kind of just standing there looking inside them. But I was interested, so I got 5 from my favorite comic characters and game characters. So I got one from Nakoruru, the samurai spirits, Shinto Maiden, the Ainu Maiden, one starring her, and one with, I don't know, I forgot, but other game characters, I think, mostly. And I took them and looked through, and indeed they were someone had drawn all these characters being all naked, and that was what they're for. So yeah, those kind of things also available at the Beep. And I'm not here at the moment, so leave your message at the Beep. Remember answering machines, before smartphones and all that? Anyway. Well, there we go. Beep, a fantastic store, a must-visit store. Lots of really fun stuff there. I didn't even mention the stuff I've seen before that, they have stuff that comes in and out on a rotating basis. They once were selling Raspberry Pi Zero boards for 900 yen each. And then the original Raspberry Pi, the Raspberry Pi 2 for 2,000 yen each. And at the time, I didn't even know what they were for. I just thought they were things that only really hardcore nerds would know what to do with. Later, I'd find out that you could actually do cool stuff with them, and I missed out. I should have bought a couple of those. But yeah, stuff like that comes through. They also have a junk box full of old games for 50 yen, or you can also see. Oh, one of my latest videos was going through the character sheets of an old love simulation game that was being sold for 50 yen. I bought it at the Beep. I probably put that video up about a week ago, I think. Anyway, Beep is fun. Beep is good. And you should go to Beep when you're in Akihabara. Thanks so much for listening. And yeah, that's it for today. I don't really know how to end this, so I think instead of having something very interesting to say when it finishes up, I think I might just cut it off at some